All right, frequency table is a table that, so the numbers on the top, these values, if you look at these values, these are the data. So for example, think about when we do the survey question, okay? The survey question, you ask a question to your classmate and they respond to you. And then you create that table. Remember the presentation that you did with us, right? You have the table, you put in the table, you have, for your table, it's a simple table. You have the first column and the second column of how many people respond to your question, right? The first one is you give me the group, like the freshman, the sophomore, the junior, the senior, you gave me that. And then the second column, you're telling me how many people are responding to your question, right? The same thing with the frequency table. That is what we're gonna do, but it's a little bit more complicated than the table that you present to me. So the class, there's no list. So for the class, it's the grouping that we want. We want to group these data because there's so many numbers. They are different numbers. I don't know how to count this one, so I have to group them. For this one, they ask you to split them up in 5 groups. So step number 1, if you have that piece of paper right now, the step number 1 is that I'm going to write over here. I'm going to start with my first class. I'm going to start with the lowest values. So in here, my lowest value is 25. That's what I'm going to start with. So number 1, I'm going to start with my lowest values. Where's that number? It's right here. This is my lowest values. And now the lowest values are, we can also call the lower limit. Okay, so I'm going to start with this 25. Now, a lot of you was like, okay, you got to start with number 25. I saw on your homework. The problem is now the question is, what number should I use over here? And then I saw some of you choose a random numbers from the data list. No, this is what you need to do to find the next one, which we have to find the class width, because we want to know from the lower limit to the upper limit how far that is. So we need to find that difference. So remember the class width that we did. The class width. So I'm going to write this here. So it's the maximum minus the minimum divided by the numbers of classes. Okay. So to find the class width, I take the highest values minus the lowest values, then divide by the number of classes. All right, because so I'm going to write over here and then I'm going to erase that in a minute. So my highest value is 80, right here, 80. Take away my lowest, which is 25. How do I know how many classes it's been given to you in the instruction? It says 5, so that's where I divide by 5. So if you have a calculator, you can do the same. 80 minus 25, that's 55 over 5, which is 11. So that is my class width, 11. What is this number for? This number will help me determine my upper limit, which is the values right here. I'm going to pause for question right now. You can put in the chat or you can unmute and ask me questions. Are you still with me so far? Did I lose anyone? Please let me know right now, because before I move on to the next step, it's going to be many steps. So I'm start with my lower limit, my lowest value, which is 25, the lowest in this entire set. Then I'm finding my class width. I'm taking my highest values, subtract my smallest values, divide by how many groups that I want, which is given to me up here, and I got 11. How we do? Okay. All right, for my upper limit, what I would do to get this number, the whole point of me getting this 11, so that I can take my lower value, which is 25, lower limit right here, plus 11. This will give me the upper limit right here. So 25 plus 11, that's give me 36. So I start with the lowest values in the data list. I take 25 add 11 to get my upper limit. So for those who forgot, we talk about lower limit and upper limit. So the number in the front is the lower limit. The number at the end, that's the upper limit. Questions? Okay. All right. Now what I would do is I'm going to go to my next class. So this is my first group. It's going to be from between 25 and 36. I'm going to determine my next class. How do I determine it? I'm going to start right here where I stopped. I have 36. To get my next number, it's just always one more. So it's going to be 37. So I continue with my previous group. I always do that. My next group is continue from the previous. So I got 37. I know the difference. So this is the 37 is my lower limit. I want to get to upper limit. What I would do is I'm going to add my class width, which is 11. So 37 plus 11, that gives me 48. How we do? Still with me? Yeah? Okay. So now I want you to tell me, I'm going to start with my next class. Can someone tell me what should be the values right here? What number should I use right there? You can put in the chat. You can unmute and tell me. 49? Yep, 49. Okay, so now it's going to be 49 to get my next number. I'm going to add 11 again because that's the point. I'm going to always take my lower limit plus 11 to get my upper limit. So that would be 60. Okay. And then I'll move on to the next one. Over here it's going to be 61. Good. Add 11, that gives you 72. And then I'm finish up my last class, which is 73. 73 plus 11, that gives me 84. Okay, I need the space right here, so I'm going to erase this. You can send me a question or unmute, let me know, okay? If I'm going a little bit fast or you was like, wait, I still need to copy this down. Can you please wait? Let me know. Okay, I have to clear this so I can use. So now the next one is a tally. This one is not difficult. It's just tedious. It takes some time. All right, so I'm going to start. How do I know which one to start? Well, I'm going to start with 40, the number right here. Why? Because it's the first number. There's nothing about it. So this is 40. This 40 right here. What do I do with this one is that I'm going to look through in all of my classes. I'm asking myself, 40 is between or it belong to which class? So if I looked in here, I can see that 40 should belong to my second class right here. It should belong to my second class right here because it's between 37 and 48. So 40 belong here. Right, so what I would do, I'm count as one entry. So there's one number in this group, which is 40. How do I track it? I cross it out so I don't have to go back and use it again. So just take a minute, just cross it out, right? Then I will move on to the next number, which is 43. Okay, let's look at 43. Which class 43 belong to? Can someone tell me? Is this the first, the second, the third, the fourth, or the fifth class? 43. Where does that belong? The second. Good. So it's still the second, so I make another tally mark right here. Cross it out. And then I move on to the next one, 41. 41 still the second one, right? So cross it out. 26 should be in my first. Cross it out. I have 26 again. Cross it out. Then I'm just go ahead and finish the rest of them. So if you have that piece of paper, if you have that homework, you need to fix it as something. You may do it later. 39, I'm going to put in 39, okay? 35, which is right here, 33, 80, my last class, 25. I'm going to go over this a little bit fast because now we just like counting the tally. So if you need me to like slow down or explain to you something, let me know, put in the chat or unmute and tell me. 34, 31, 42, whoops, 33, 27, 34, 74, 29, 35, 31, 27, 33, twice, and then 35, one more. Okay, I'm going to erase this one to make a line right here. Okay, so for this one, the tally, I'm just counting how many numbers belong in that group. That's what I do. The frequency is even much easier because when you have a tally, you just count them and write out the numbers. So this is 5, 10, 15, 18. This one I have 5, nothing, nothing, and then 1. So that's your homework last night. Okay. Questions for me?